And it's the 9-time world champion Tony Caroli leading them in and out with the motosport.com hole shot. He's your early leader. He did it last week. He's up front again, and Ken Roczen in the 94 Honda. So successful on this track in the past. He's up front as usual. Oh, Christian Craig, front runner early this year, had a podium at round 1. He's down.
Yeah, he's got to hurry up, get back up as quick as possible. But to your point, great start by the number 222 of Antonio Caroli. Great start, got a good jump out of the gate, was able to close the door on Ken Roczen, hugged that inside around that first right-handed corner, and he's got the lead.
Roczen right behind him, so the rider out of Italy, chased by the rider out of Germany. They never really had a chance to race each other in Europe because Roczen moved to the United States as a teenager, but boy, are they battling here, side by side. Can Roczen shut the door? He's stuck in that rut on the outside, still goes for it. Caroli fights back. Holds on to the lead.
Look how ruddy this track is right here. This is a great job by our drone. You can see the different lines that Tony Caroli is taking. You see Ken Roczen going to the outside there, keeping up his momentum. This track is a little slippery right now. The track crew have put water down. It's very dry out here. Look at the different ruts right here. Some guys inside, some guys outside.
And that long way around to the outside is going to pay off for Roczen. He takes over the lead. That took about 2 or 3 corners to set up. And when the 94 gets to that number 1 spot on the first lap, boy, can he put in some heater laps.
That's been his MO. It seems like a lot, not only in Supercross, but outdoor motocross as well. Ken will get a really good start. On an average, he's one of the best starters in the business, and it allows him to check out, get some comfort in between himself and the guys behind him, and he's able to just ride his own lines and not get caught up in someone else's battles.
Roczen won this race last year and looking good right now. Caroli has his hands full. The very aggressive Justin Barcia in red there. The 51 is third. Then last week's race winner, Jason Anderson, and the rider he battled for that race win. The points leader, Chase Sexton, right behind him. Anderson in green, and the red is Sexton. So we have a lot of the favorites starting up front together.
Well, these certainly are the favorites, but I want to talk about Ken Roczen really quick. You want to talk about stats. This guy owns the competition here at Thunder Valley. He's raced here 6 times. He's won here 4 out of those 6 times. So he's won 6 out of the 12 motos that he's competed in. He is going to be a really tough contender here against the rest of the crew.
And a 2.5 seconds is the lead by Roczen after just 1 lap. We told you what he can do, and he has running room. But it's a 30-minute test, and endurance is a huge factor as well. And I've got to figure these riders know Roczen's going to be quick early. They're going to play the long game right now. We're talking about Anderson and that 21 and Sexton. They were able to roll forward last week. Justin Barcia, who is in third, he has had a struggle of a season so far. This is much more like it, usually a podium contender. Let's send it down to Will Christian.
And you said it, a much stronger race so far there for Justin Barcia over at Trell Designs Red Bull Gas, Jason. And I checked in with the team to see how they were doing. And Justin Barcia himself told me that he is expecting a lot more out of this weekend. He had an illness right at the end of the Supercross season. Remember, that's only a month ago when that got wrapped up. And that basically stopped him from doing most of his motocross testing. So this past week has really been the testing for him. And he said they've just made strides, you know, leaps and bounds, made some changes, some adjustments there. So he said, really, I just need more out of this weekend now.
Well, he's going to need it because he's got company. Anderson and Sexton battling hard right behind him.
You can see right now the track crew have put some water down, like I said, to keep the dust down. So right now these guys are kind of following each other for the most part, but as the track dries out, it'll develop a couple more lines. These guys won't have to follow quite as much. Everyone's fading to the outside. You can see right there with Jason Anderson and Chase Sexton.
And Eli Tomac is in the battle as well. He's the rider right behind. That's Sexton on the red bike. And Tomac, the home state favorite, is only 1 position further back. Then it's Ryan Dungey, Alex Martin, Garrett Marchbanks, Joey Savacci. Oh, getting around Caroli on that uphill section of jumps. Justin Barcia into second.
Well, that was a really good pass by Justin Barcia to get by Caroli. What he did was he's able to time that step-up jump. He got the sequence right. Caroli come up a little bit short, a lot of time, and had to surrender second spot.
So Caroli, the Italian, announced his retirement for full-time racing last year, but he had on the bucket list, always wanted to race a bit in the United States. So it's a bit of a family vacation, taking his wife and his young son to see the USA, but he still is serious and wants results, and he's in the thick of it right now as he tries to hold off Anderson. Anderson down to the inside, this upcoming left-hand corner. Can he hold it? Woo, that was tough, and he does.
Absolutely going for it right there, keeping the gas down, the pressure on, just really just holds the gas on a lot longer.
There wasn't anything pretty about that. That was just pure aggression. He had to make it happen, and he did. Staying right there with Barsha,
Yeah.
and if you're Sexton, RC, you know you got to go wherever Anderson goes.
Well, that's right. You don't want to get a guy in between. If you're Chase Sexton, you don't want to have a guy in between you and Jason Anderson. That'll allow Jason Anderson to pull a little bit of a gap. So you're going to see right here, Chase Sexton do everything he can do to get by.
Oh, Anderson around the outside of Barsha gets a good momentum drive out of this corner. Now Barsha will fight you harder than anyone. Anderson not able to find a line on the outside.
Loving what I'm seeing from Jason Anderson right now. He's going different lines, inside, outside. He's not following, doing anything he can do to get by Justin Barsha because he doesn't want Ken Roczen to get too far out. You look at the timing and scoring on your left here.
But not quite there. Ryan Dungey's a proud athlete. You know he wants to race up front, and he's hoping to get a little better each week. I'll tell you what, Barsha's gotten better on this last lap. He's actually added a little bit of distance between himself and Anderson.
So to Will's point, and that testing that Red Bull Troy Lee Designs gas machine and team have done, certainly paying dividends for Barsha right now.
Now we hear that there was a quick tip over for Roczen, and look at the gap. He had a 5-second lead. Now it's down to 2 seconds. He's obviously up quickly enough to maintain the lead, but he lost about half of the gap right there. And look at this pack coming after him. Tomac battling with Chase Sexton right now. These are two of the best of the game, and they're 5th and 6th.
These guys absolutely going for it. Tomac's got a good drive up the inside. Is he going to hold it on and take Sexton wide?
Oh, no room. They almost come together, and somehow Tomac holds on.
Yeah, you could see it coming from afar. That's exactly how Jason Anderson got by Tony Caroli.
Oh, Tomac's going for 2 here, Ricky. Oh, Caroli's trying to fight him off. He's on the inside of this corner. Tomac a good drive. He's got 2 passes in 3 turns.
And this is an incredible tough part to pass in the track right here. This is where they've changed the track. We talked about at the top of the show on my track segment. They've condensed this area. There's a lot more corners. Poses guys gives them more options to pass. Look how deep the ruts are. We talked about that as well. They did it in an effort to slow the track down just a little more than what the track used to be like.
Back to this battle. Now you can see Ken Roczen in the distance. Focused on the 2nd place rider over that big jump right there is Justin Barsha, originally out of New York. And here comes Anderson in 3rd. So that big gap that Roczen had built up, a little mistake. They've closed back in. But this last time around, Roczen has added about 0.3 to that lead. It was down to 2.1. It's 2.4. But the rider you need to watch is 4th place, Eli Tomac. He's made a couple of passes. He's closing the 3rd place rider, Anderson. Their rivals from way back. Should be a good race between them. We're just getting started here, live motocross from Thunder Valley. This is quite a pack right now. And Roczen trying to stay ahead of it. As we click off another lap, this will really tell the story when he gets a clean lap. Are they starting to close, or was it just that mistake? They are not closing. He opened it right back up.
This guy's pulling away. One reason I think that he rides so well here, this is a track that you have to have a lot of technique. You can't really power through stuff. You have to be very, very precise. And what I mean by that, you have to be choosy with your lines because this track isn't very forgiving. You have to be extremely precise, and this plays right into Ken Roczen's hands and how he rides and what his style is like.
So Roczen getting it back under control after the brief mistake. Barsha, Anderson, Tomac, Sexton still the top 5. Sexton, he's got to go here. Tomac got around him and has started to open it back up. This is motocross from Colorado. Ken Roczen has won at this track 4 times, including last season, and he sure looks strong right now. Opened up an early lead, went down, lost a lot of that gap. He's opening it back up. We watch the battle.